And what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sand Shark Rewind. I'm your host, Brackin Lambert, alongside Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr. How's it going, fellas? Happy Sunday.
Indeed. Yeah, it was a lovely Sunday.
Same to you.
Once that rain cleared out, it was really nice. I got to do some yard work, listen to the kids,
Beautiful.
the boys
Beautiful day at the
play in the
ballpark.
backyard saying silly things that boys say, and that was fun. And lots of hoops on TV. I popped in on you guys a couple times over at the ball yard. So yeah, nice weekend.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, over there on the call, man, I enjoyed a Saturday off. That was great.
Touche.
That was
Monday
needed.
finish means Saturday off, so it's a trade-off.
Yeah, we'll take it.
You were gonna work Monday anyway, most likely. So
Hey, I'll tell
well-
you, we had even on Saturday we had a pretty nice some nice Loco
it was a
action
beautiful
over
day
on
Saturday.
Crossfield,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Weather
Yeah.
cleared out sooner than expected and
Yep.
turned out to be a pretty
Yeah.
day.
in the grand scheme of things, we probably could have played on Saturday.
Yeah, but it would have
Yeah.
been a little sloppy.
Yeah, the outfield was a little soggy,
better.
Field conditions.
but the
Yeah.
infield.
Yeah, Saturday
got a
was a
brand new
great day
tarp.
for drying. That was a
Yeah.
good day for drying.
Yeah, we got a brand new tarp. So,
Nice.
oh
no.
Ted was like, man, he's like, I had to go out Saturday and water the field. That's how dry it was. I was like,
Really?
"Dang,
That
that's
field was
surprising."
going dry, huh?
That was after
Tarp's doing its job.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Buford boys gonna move on. Alabama's gonna survive Grand Canyon.
Oh,
Pringle.
man. The madness is real, man. I
Yeah.
think we can say it real quick that the madness has just completely occurred so far after the first round. I mean, my bracket was gone after day one.
It's been fairly mad, moderately mad.
Oakland over Kentucky.
Kentucky, yeah,
Kentucky, yep.
that busted a lot of brackets, right?
Clemson. How about Clemson in the Sweet
Yeah.
16?
Yeah. That one busted my bracket because I had New Mexico coming out of there. I picked all the wrong upsets and wild cards, but what are you gonna do?
Well, we'll talk. We can talk more March Madness. Well, let's talk March Madness next year when we're playing in the Peach Belt tournament.
That's right. That's right.
But,
Yes, there we go.
Full-fledged weekend of Sand Shark baseball. Full-fledged Sunday Sand Shark baseball and Sand Shark softball. We'll take a split with softball, and baseball had two hot fart games against the Jags. Both teams playing Augusta this weekend, and both wrapping up the series tomorrow afternoon. So it has been it was a great day at the ballpark. I mean, it was a beautiful afternoon, a little chilly, but I mean, nothing you can hang your hat on. Those guys played great.
Nothing to complain about. Nothing to complain about.
No, a great day for USCB. I mean, I don't want to say great, but just another day out there. And this is the time where you really got to pick everything out, and you're starting to look at the standings a little bit. You got to find a win here soon. You got to find one tomorrow for the baseball team.
Right. Yeah. A couple of tough
and-
ones today. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Wes, you were there.
Yeah, but I was impressed by the way they hung in there offensively. They were able to string a few things together, but just not as much as they needed, just because of how well the pitching was on the other side by Augusta, including Game 2, where Will Cantrell spun an absolute masterpiece on the mound to the tune of a complete game victory, 11 strikeouts, just one earned run, one walk, and scattered 7 hits. And he was outstanding. In just 99 pitches, he went 9 innings. That is quite efficient.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dramatics.
Yeah.
That's
mad dog.
That never happened.
I hope he didn't pee on anybody in the shower afterwards.
No, game
I just
2.
rewatched a clip about Maddox used to do that to guys when they're rookies in the shower. That's gross. But that's another way of pulling Maddox.
Yeah. I mean, he was dealing the whole game. Got some timely hitting, some there in game 2, but just not enough to push across those runs.
Yeah.
And
a couple of defensive lapses.
Now the pitching, if you're looking for encouragement, the pitching overall was much better
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, than it has been on doubleheader days in these conference
Mhm.
series, and it definitely sets you up a lot better for game 3 then, because you've got some arms left down there, you know, if you
Yeah.
Right.
get into trouble. But oh, Max is checking in. Had fun with you fellas today. Give
Yeah, he
Max
needs
a
to
night
rest.
off. He needs to rest up.
Get some rest up. Yeah.
Forcing a little
Um,
self-care.
Yeah. I expect to see B-Mark go tomorrow for the
Yeah.
guys. Demigian got the start in game 1, and he pitched. I mean, he pitched fine, and it wasn't ran into trouble there a little bit in the 4th inning, I believe. It was either the 3rd or 4th, but I haven't looked at the box score since game 1. And then Wilmus, man, he was solid. It was the first pitch. I believe he was the first starter to go into the 7th all season long.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, and I mean, then he just got outdone by Cantrell over there at on Augusta. Man, he was just firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do when you run into a buzzsaw like that. It's just kind of
Yeah,
you gotta battle, and I mean,
Mhm.
and they did. They stayed in those
Yeah.
games. They just couldn't quite get over the hump. So, like I said, hopefully, with the pitching kind of holding up better than it has been, that sets them up for game 3.
Right. And just timely hits, of course, Ingram with that big 3-run homer when it looked like if
Yeah,
he
they're
could
in
have
the
gotten
first
out of
inning.
it, that could have been a very different game. And then a couple of defensive mistakes midway through that ball game. So if you just take those away, it's like what, like a 2-run game, 1-run game, you're right in it. So you know
Yeah,
they've been close.
yeah.
Just a
I mean
couple
that
of plays went against them. You know.
they were. I gotta look in who came after Wilmus. So I
Tillotson,
got
right?
yeah, Tilson. He worked out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam
He's
after a
been
couple of errors,
solid.
and
Pop-ups.
after that first little bit of trouble he had against Georgia Southwestern, he's really been solid. And I mean, he gave up 7 runs, but the other game against I think it was Pembroke, but it was 6 of them were unearned, just because of a couple of errors that just occurred. One of them being his, but he's been solid completely out of the bullpen. And then just Devin Marlowe, he's been solid there too. Who else? Aiden Cooper, he's come in
Patterson
and got
threw out of the pen today.
Yeah, they've got
JP's
some
been
good
going
arms
out,
in there.
and I think they said at the beginning of the year that, man, if he doesn't have to think about coming in with runners on and he can just come out and throw, that's when he's on his best. But he's more valuable out of the bullpen right now, I would say, than he is.
I agree.
Because Wilmus can get you a few innings, get you 4 or 5 innings. Demigian's working his way back up, and Brandon Martin, he's been solid too. But man, I'm he's going to give me he's going to come talk to me about it later. Nico Andre has been a solid offensive, I wouldn't say surprise, but he's been doing really well offensively these last few games.
He's been good enough that they've played him at first some when he's not catching, right? I mean, that's a testament to what he's doing with the bat, that they're like, hey, we gotta find a place that we don't want to catch you every day, but we got to find a place to get your bat in the lineup.
Yeah, and I mean, and he's been solid over there at first. A couple of defensive miscues, but not too many, I would say.
It's usually a pretty easy transition for catchers.
I thought Driscoll Sadusky looked good at second as well. You put
put him as
Driscoll Sadusky,
yeah. Well, he played a lot of second last year, where he was sharing time with Wes Ambrose, back and forth. But yeah, Aiden got a lot of time last year at third too. Alex Humphreys would be over at first and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm pretty pumped to see how they go about this later on and how they put it out there. Tomorrow you gotta come out there and win tomorrow. That gets you, I think that puts you at 3-7 in the standings, or in the conference. Yeah, now you're about a month left of the season, and you've got to start looking at where you're going to fall into, because there's no NAIA backup plan like there was last year, where we could have made the CAC tournament, and you win one game there, you make it to an opening round out of the CAC. But
we're
here,
past that. We've moved past that.
Yeah.
But
We're
now it's
over
the
it.
top 8.
Well,
I don't want to just like say that the games against Claflin are going to be, surefire games, but they have yet to win a game.
Take nothing for granted, brother.
Right.
Take nothing for granted.
Yep.
So
It's baseball.
Well,
yeah.
You think they don't have those ones circled just like USCB does?
Oh yeah.
Guaranteed. You just got to get 2 of those. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
and
Georgia
still,
College.
still a lot of baseball left. I mean, you got Lander, Columbus State, Flagler. So the opportunities are still there to try to string something together for this team.
Yeah.
And they've been getting on the right track. I mean, this was an encouraging day, despite the outcomes in 2 close games against a solid, strong team in this conference. And it's just a situation where if those hits don't come at the times that they did, and able to make a couple more plays on offense, it's a whole different kind of game. And you take that into Monday and see what you can do. I mean, obviously Augusta certainly benefited from having Cantrell go the distance. It opens up some more arms that are still available. But for USCB, you gotta have to trust your starter and Brandon Martin to deliver a strong outing, and that's you kind of need that, and the defense behind them do their job and give your team a chance based on how well the offense, just how well they approach the play today. And despite there are a couple of hard hit balls that just resulted in some tough outs, and that's the way it goes sometimes. Including that last one where it looked like we almost had our first home run. It was caught right at the fence there at the end.
Oh yeah. I mean, he hit that thing to Armstrong Alley. I still call it Armstrong. I mean, that thing was crushed, and then the wind just kicked it down right there.
Yeah.
It looked. I mean, off the bat, it was. I mean, it sounded good. It looked good. But yeah, Julian Galassi blast there off the end of the bat, and that was the pitch. I called it, Wes. I don't know if you heard me. I told Aaliyah and the rest of our staff up there. I said, man, if he swings first pitch and gets an out, that's a Maddox. It's a Maddox game. Sure enough, 99 pitches. So right on the cusp.
Yeah.
I got 99 pitches, but
but yeah, I mean, tomorrow's going to be a big day. And
Aaliyah confirmed she sure did.
She was right there. Aaliyah's our rock star for the Sand Shark Game Day Network.
She corroborates your story.
But on the other side of the diamond, man, softball picked up a huge win. A little fluttering there. Yeah. That was needed. That was needed. After squandering game 1, man, it was – I don't even want to say squandering. I mean, Augusta just came back.
Yeah, just letting us lead slip away.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
It was.
I mean, you could say squandering because they were up. They were up 2-0, then tied at 2, then up 3-2.
They had the tough ground ball double play. They could have added on.
Agreed, Max. Aaliyah is the GOAT. We'll forgive your spelling. We appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah.
We're still working on him. He's raw.
Yeah.
I haven't whipped him into shape yet. With the attention to detail, we'll get him there eventually. Brackin knows. Brackin has PTSD.
I do have PTSD from it.
Although sometimes, you misspell a name from time to time too. So I apparently, still have work to do on you too. Aaliyah says MJ is the GOAT. Thank you. Yeah. All right, now we're going to spark a whole MJ versus LeBron debate or something.
Oh, goodness, let's not.
And I'm going to have to be like, now, hold on a second. Have you considered Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a.k.a. Lou Alcindor?
Oh, goodness. But, no, Jaden Goodwin, 5 for 8 with a homer, 4 ribbies. Yeah. I mean, she broke out of a little mini
She's back, baby. She's back.
That's huge.
She started the season red hot,
Yeah, I don't think she was in a slump so much as she started the season on like a ridiculous level that was just unsustainable, and she regressed to the mean a little bit, and now she's starting to heat up again.
Yeah, I mean, she was playing on rookie mode. That was, I mean, I mean, she was getting
it was
averaging a multi-hit game for the first 3 weeks of the season.
Yep.
Yeah, they were completely unsustainable.
I mean, those are
pace that she
the
was
regression
off
was
to.
coming. The regression was definitely coming, and now she's starting to find it again, which is it's great to see. And then Addie Reynolds, not one but 2 homers, one in each game.
Yeah, Addie broke out of a little slump that she was in. Let's see. Jaden's still batting over 400. Hit her first home run of the year. 25 homers, and she's still got an OBP over 1,000, over almost 1,100. So she's still,
nice.
I mean, she's still one of the best players in the conference, no doubt.
There's your standings. This was, obviously it's a huge series. The rubber match tomorrow will break a tie for what's that? 3-6 for 7th place. So
there's only one team that doesn't get in.
That's a huge game tomorrow.
Yeah, you gotta take that one. And Kinlaw was on her game. She was dealing through the first 6 innings before that game, and before that 6th inning in game 1, she was on fire. I think she had
because whoever wins this game, it's like this game's worth 2, really, because not only do you get a 1-game cushion over the other team, but you also get head-to-head. So it's like being 2 games ahead of them. It's huge,
absolutely massive.
Yeah. And then you welcome Georgia Southwestern, who's on the lower half of the and then you get to play Georgia College. So, I mean, we've played the top 4 of the top 5, or 4 of the top 5 teams in the conference to start the season, and probably should have had at least 2 wins against Lander. Probably 2 against.
Probably should have won 2 against Lander.
Flagler as well.
Probably should have. Yeah.
You do that, and you look at, and you're saying, okay, well,
probably should have got 1 off Aiken. But coulda, shoulda, woulda. It doesn't really matter.
I mean,
but yeah,
the
point remains that you got 7 games left against the bottom half of the conference starting tomorrow. So that's a chance to make hay while the sun shines, as we say on the farm. Get the hay in the barn.
Yeah, and it was good to see Addie break out of that little slump that she was in. I mean, she just wasn't fit. She was popping everything up. I don't know if she was just pressing a little bit, trying to hit the long ball. I'd have to go back.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think there's a natural tendency. You start driving it out of the ballpark, you start thinking about driving it out of the ballpark, and you start to swing a certain kind of way and sort of get away. And it happens gradually, right? Like the boil and the frog thing, where it's like you're trying to lift it and then you're not lifting it. So you start trying harder to lift it. And then the next thing you know, you're kind of out of whack and you got to strip it back down and get back on plane and stuff. But she's fine. I mean, it's just natural ebb and flow. That's the game. You're not gonna be hot all the time. It's just not possible. You're gonna go through struggles.
I mean, but she's still batting. She's batting .309. She's got 6 homers.
Yeah, she's tearing it up. That's what I'm saying. Is like you're not gonna stay on red hot mode all the time. You're gonna level off every once in a while. You're even when you're hot, you're gonna have an 0 for 3 every now and then because they just pitched you really good. And I mean, the hotter you get, the more they pay attention to how you're doing it and try to pitch around you and try to make somebody else beat them. So you're not going to see as many good pitches to hit. So it's always going to kind of naturally ebb and flow. You go on a tear, you win Conference Player of the Week. I guarantee you the game plan is make somebody else beat us for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. I mean, that week she had against Lander was just incredible. Just
stupid. Like it got everybody's attention and they're like, oh, don't pitch to that chick.
So, great to see Addie break out, get a couple of long balls, get a couple of RBIs. So leading the team in homers with 6 and 24 ribbies, batting over 300. I mean, you get 60 games, 55 games to play, and you're going to bat over 300. I'd take that all day. Baseball and
That's
softball.
Yep.
Baseball and
especially
softball,
if you're also playing catcher. Like,
yeah,
you can live with subpar offense if you've got a solid catcher who's calls a good game, does all the things you need them to do back there. You can live without the offense even, but if you're getting offense and that's a really valuable player. So I
yeah,
mean, like cornerstone type player.
yeah. That I mean, what you're talking about reminds me a lot of Amanda Brown.
That's kind of the one I had in mind. Like,
Yeah,
if she hits, it's gravy because,
Yeah.
but we need her out there regardless.
yeah.
Like it's just not the same without her.
She and Caitlin Vaughn were not huge offensive threats, but very good behind the dish and calling games, and so a little trip down memory lane. But yeah, Mackenzie Four
Yeah.
also homered in the game. Good to see her get the stick going a little bit. I think she had a couple hits. Let me look back. One hit in game 2, and then come on, Hargray internet, man, telling you. And then
Thanks to our fine sponsors at Hargrave for their support of
over in the in game 1, but hey, a homer is sometimes the thing that can break you out of a little bit of a slump.
oh yeah.
But she gets on base like, you know, out of the world. She has like 25, 26 walks, something like that for the year, and so no worries about her over there at first base. And she plays a very solid defender over there at the right side of the diamond. And good to see Devin Weller back after missing a couple games in Flagler.
They definitely needed her back in the lineup for just the veteran leadership she brings and her ability to get on base and just brings a solid bat to the lineup and strong infielder as well. So that's when you need back. And I think it's still all there for the taking for this team, despite where they are record wise, because of how many close games they've been, which could have gone the other way. And how well Sarah Kinlaw's playing, I'm sure she's going to just get even better as the rest of this year marches on. And so I'm pumped to see her continue to battle out there in this offense, which went to a red hot start. But I think the key is really, seeing Jaden Goodwin get going, because she was a spark plug early. And if you're able to, find some good opportunities for her to get on and spark this offense, I mean, that's what you want. You gotta get your big dog feasting, and she's been, that kind of player for this Sand Sharks team this year. So pumped to see her and the rest of this lineup, because when they're on, they can be anybody. They can score runs in bunches.
Oh yeah, and it's good because like Jaden started off, in the leadoff spot and then kind of fluttered down, the 2-hole, the 3-hole when Devin would miss games for school, and hoping that's not going to be a thing anymore. Hopefully we got some good news on that. I mean, but she's found her spot there in the middle of the line, and that that 2-3 hole where she can hit for power and she's not just trying to get on base. And then that allowed Cody to drop Darren, who is your typical 2-hole leadoff batter, down to the 9 spot to kind of get her a chance to barrel the ball up, and she did today. Had a triple, had another hit. And so Darren's found her swing a little bit these last couple games as well. So that's good. Tamaya Whitlock still playing good defense out there in left. Saria Simmons, she's just kind of inserted herself right there and playing right field.
Yeah.
I know we talked a little bit, but that reminds me of Missy Hughes coming in when she was a freshman and just making an immediate impact, whether it be defensively or offensively.
I'm a nerd, but I'm a Hamilton nerd, so I'm saying she's made herself indispensable.
That's
what I was thinking of in my head when you said that. She's made herself. I was like, she's made herself indispensable. But yeah, no, and I like her in the leadoff spot too.
Who?
I mean, Saria was in the leadoff spot today, right? I like that. I mean, Jaden made sense in the leadoff spot because you knew like she was going to hit, she was going to get on base. But I like how Cody wasn't like tied to that idea once she saw like actually like she can drive the ball in the gaps, and we've got some speedsters who can get on base ahead of her. Like Whitlock and Saria first broke in, she had them at the bottom of the order. And then I think she recognized like, oh, hold up. Like when we flip it over, I like the way it looks here. If I pop one of them to the top, then, it kind of sets the table a little bit more the first time around. So I like that. I like that flexibility she's had there. And it allows you then, I like that they're all kind of interchangeable, where if Saria gets in a funk or timing's off for a little bit or something, you can slide everybody up one and it still works.
Right.
But yeah, all is not lost for that team at all. They're like you said, they played a really top heavy schedule early, and now they've got some games that they can win. The offense it plays.
It's there.
And there was that one series at Aiken where it kind of disappeared, but I think that was fluky. But if the pitching was a little shaky closing it out today, but has been pretty consistent. So I think it's just a matter of kind of getting the two going at the same time, and hopefully it's starting to sync up here.
Yeah. You talk, Cody said it, it's going to be tough for our pitching staff to play, because you see all three pitchers multiple times throughout there. If Sierra just doesn't have it like she did in one game, I think it was game 2 or whatever it was against Flagler, where she got whenever that game was, or no, that was UVA Wise, where she just did not have it.
First game against Wise,
and so then all of a sudden you got to throw Brundage in there to get an out, and then she has to work 5 and 3rd innings to close out the game. And then you can bring
you always need another arm. You always need one more. However many you got, you need one more.
Yeah. That's why you got pitching staffs in the big leagues at 13 plus guys.
Yeah.
But I love the way this, threesome competes out there, and it always starts with Kinlaw, but Ramirez is an absolute fighter. She's a battler, and she will work you. And then Brundage is really under the radar, been solid as well. And it's been great to see some of those other two get more time and just be reliable arms that Yeski's been able to turn to and get some big outs in some important moments. And I just think about several situations during the season where they've been able to shut down the 7th and help them, at least if not get a win, help them compete, give them a chance on offense, and that's kind of what you need. And so it's great to have a bigger staff, but I just love the way these three work and compete, and you can get a lot out of them. So you wish you had maybe another guy you can turn to, have a 4th or a 5th, but I think you're looking fine with the way this offense is performing. I think if these three continue to play at the level that we've seen, they're going to give these guys a chance, and it's just going to defense make the plays behind you, and can you avoid mistakes? And that's really the key in these softball games, is execute when you get the opportunity, and just minimize. Don't give free outs. Don't give the other team free outs.
Yeah. Well, the good news is if you can keep them all three here, which is never given anymore in this day and age, right? Then you've got 3 coming back, right? And if you've got another one coming in the recruiting class, over time you eventually you get that stockpile. Especially with kids like Brundage, who's a 2-way player, right? And it helps if you got a couple of those. That really helps, because they don't necessarily have to be satisfied just with their role on the pitching staff. They can also be getting some satisfaction from the at-bats and playing in the field. So, and I think, it's all a work in progress, obviously, but I think they're going in the right direction. The baseball standings are wild, dudes. Remember when Georgia Southwestern was like the cock of the walk and the peach, and now they're like
in the middle of the pack, right?
Yeah, middle of the pack.
Georgia College up there at the top, man.
Yeah, just kind of fooling around.
That was a really strong team that we played them, and they looked really good. So.
They're getting votes in the Southeast region. I think. Let me look, because I'm on that committee.
It's tight, bro. Like top 4 are all within a game of each other, and then 5th is only 2 games back. Like that's wild.
Yeah, Georgia College broke into the top 10 this past week. They're tied for 10th with Lander. So 4 PBC teams in the top 10 of the Southeast region. I mean, that's saying something. Columbus State's also getting some votes, so don't be surprised to see them in there. So, but yeah, big things coming on the diamond. A couple schedule changes coming up this week. I just have to confirm the game against Francis Marion, I believe, was pushed because we were playing tomorrow. No need to play 3 games in 3 days after.
Yeah, we figured. We
4
mentioned
games
that on the lowdown the other night. We were like, well, they're probably going to bang that one.
Yeah, so they're going to try and I think they're going to try and push that one sometime next month. Yeah, golf is in full swing, wrapping up a couple of tournaments. The women's head up to Lander in Greenwood and play the Lady Bearcat Invitational, and this is their last regular season tournament before conference at the end of the month. So end of April, I believe. They got a couple weeks off. A couple weeks off before they go down to conference in Augusta. So that's going to be a fun one for the Lady Bearcat Invitational. I don't know the field.
I'm trying to find a little more info on it here as we speak.
Hold on. TJ or not TJ. Thomas sent the live stat, the golf stat. So Lander, Lee, Wingate, Limestone, North Georgia, Montevallo, Lincoln Memorial, West Georgia, Lenora Rhine, Carson Newman, us, Catawba, Newberry, Erskine, Tusculum, King, Converse, Belmont Abbey, Trevecca Nazarene, Emmanuel, Young Harris, and Columbus State is the field at the Lady Bearcat Invitational.
Ms. Reynolds had a question. I believe it was the Francis Marion baseball game that was scrapped, not softball, correct?
Softball Wednesdays, that's the one.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
I believe so. I gotta confirm.
Weather permitting, of course.
Right.
Weather permitting, you never know.
March in the Lowco, baby.
So yeah, we're talking baseball.
Coin flip every day.
Talking baseball.
Yeah, Miss Reynolds. Mrs. Reynolds. We're talking about the baseball game. I believe it was Tuesday for baseball with Francis.
It was. So that one's scrapped.
Right. Shout out to the Reynolds. They're driving back from Augusta, or they're already back. They wanted to check in and make sure they didn't miss the rundown or the rewind. We got the lowdown, we got
loyal
the
viewers.
Rewind, and Hunter Miller's watching.
We had a Lowco rundown at one point. That was a thing. That was Carlo's creation.
Yeah. Wasn't that the little TV thing?
Yeah, it may be making a comeback. Carlo's leading a number of little pupils. The student has become the teacher. He's the Pied Piper, teaching his little proteges, who including Max. So he may have to bring back. We may have to bring back the Lowco rundown with Carlo as like an executive producer guiding his little proteges.
You gotta send me that. Do you still have all those old video files from that intro?
Maybe somewhere in the catacombs.
Yeah,
the catacombs. Ever since I started doing a lot of video, man, like the file storage is a problem.
But you had to switch YouTube channels, didn't you? Lowco Sports.
I did. Yeah, there was snafu.
Yeah, I remember those because I was like, man, where'd they go?
Yeah, they went away. It was unfortunate.
Yeah, but the guys, on the other hand, they start the old
home game.
Classic. It's a home game. I'm pumped. Nice. After the where is it? No, okay. So I got the teams for the Old Field Classic tomorrow. Us, Drexel, IUP. Shout out Coach Ron.
Coach Ron's old stomping ground.
Truett McConnell, Mount Olive, and some Sun Conference foes. St. Thomas, my graduate alma mater, Cumberland University,
There you go.
Coastal Georgia, Catawba, Young Harris, both
Coastal
Scads,
Georgia. Coastal Georgia, get after you now.
Yeah. Oh,
They're
yeah.
tough.
Scad Savannah, Scad Atlanta, and Columbia College.
All right.
So,
And this is the penultimate tournament, right? The next one is the Peach Belt Championship. So
yeah,
we're
is this
gearing
the
up,
last
baby.
one? I haven't pulled up
The next to last, penultimate. I had to
Yes.
bust out penultimate on you on this lovely Sunday evening.
man. Is that mean the last one before?
The next
one
to
before the
last,
last
yeah.
one.
Okay, yeah. So both
Great word. It's a great word. Sounds way more, special and qualified than it actually is. But it sounds way better than next to last. This is the penultimate.
So the Lady Bearcat and the Oldfield Classic are the
penultimate.
Penultimate. Okay.
There you go.
Hey, put that on our word of the day.
Today's word is penultimate, and the number of the day is 12.
Oh my goodness! See, JJ, sometimes it's fun when you're on here and we can just
when I'm on here and I'm loopy at the end of getting my butt kicked for a second straight week.
It's
been,
we wouldn't be doing
spring
what we
is
do.
a challenge, my friend.
Yeah,
since
we
I
wouldn't
can
be doing
remember.
what we do if we didn't love it.
No doubt.
Last little wrap up: track and field competed at the Georgia Southern Relays this past weekend. First 2-day meet they've competed in all season. So, Cam Edwards, man, like I said last time that I'm starting to enjoy the jumps.
He's a dog. Yeah, you are.
And,
you did.
Took home the podium in both the long and triple jump, and then finished second in the high jump.
So, is that your photo?
That's one of them. Yeah.
So funky. He was trying not to fall backwards, huh? He was like, ah.
Yeah, because I used the rest of them beforehand, whether it be for his birthday post.
You're running out of good photos of him. You gotta you're scraping the bottom of the barrel because you gotta post him every week. Oh man, I felt that pain with like Betsy Douglas photos and Nick O'Neill photos and
yeah. That's the bottom. That's when we got to find. Ooh, Nick O'Neill. That's a good one for Throwback Thursday for the.
Yeah, it is.
Alumni spotlight.
Champion of character, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. We shout out Kyle McCullough, man. That guy.
I saw that, and I commented that he was also a very charitable young man who, upon the conclusion of the Sand Sharks run in the NAIA World Series, he donated his game used cleats to a local youth. If you're familiar with Brady Sacha from our Lowco coverage, Sacha, he's one of those mini kids at the Heritage who just devours the pro golfers after their rounds and is like, give me your gloves, give me your this, give me your ball, give me this. And that's exactly what those kids in Lewiston do. As soon as the team is eliminated from that tournament, man, they descend upon them looking for stuff while they're in their moment of weakness and, sad about the end of their World Series run. And McCullough didn't even think twice. The kid said, "Can I have your shoes?" And he just handed them to him. And then he goes, "Hold on, that kid just took my shoes." I don't know what he thought. That he thought the kid was gonna like go clean them for. I have no idea. But he was distraught. And he walked off the field, and the kid asked him, "Can I have your shoes?" And he just handed them to him. And the kid ran away like, "I got his shoes." And he was like, "What just happened?"
Because he still had one more. Yeah, he had one more year because he recovered from Tommy John, so he finished in 2013, right?
Did he come back another year? I couldn't remember, but I know that he was a little confused. He inadvertently donated his shoes to a young prospector.
At least it wasn't his glove or something like that. The can't lose camos. That was those days.
That was a remarkable team. McCullough was amazing, man. He was, and I saw Coach Llewellyn post on there that he was an absolute competitor, and that's exactly what I remember about him. Is whether he had the good stuff or didn't, he was going to come out there and he was going to absolutely give you everything that he had. And, even after he came back from Tommy John, he kind of like, I mean, obviously he's not a Hall of Famer. He was a really good NAIA pitcher. But reminded me a little bit of like John Smoltz, like, whether you needed him to be a starter, be a closer, be the guy who comes in and swings it between the two. Whatever you needed him to do, he's going to go out there and try to get the job done best of his ability. He was definitely like a foxhole type guy. He was fun to be around too, man. That guy's hilarious.
Yeah.
Last I knew, he was working with the Jags. Is he still?
He's not working with the Jags.
No?
I looked. I try to do a little bit of research before I post on our there, and he's working for Lift Power Inc. now.
All right.
He's doing some sales for them down in Jacksonville, still in Florida.
I know he really took to sales. He was, he enjoyed doing that with the Jaguars, and I think sports is an easy entry point to sales especially for athletes, because it's like you feel like it's being around the game, but then at some point you realize like, oh, it doesn't have to be sports. I just know how to sell now.
Right.
But yeah, I can see why he's a good salesman. He's, he had a really
He's got that mold.
he had a really engaging personality. He could hold court with anybody. So good times going down memory lane.
Yeah, he commented a couple of times after I think it was after media day for basketball. Where do I get one of those jerseys? Everyone really loved the men's jerseys, man. Those were fire.
Yeah.
Both sets of jerseys were awesome.
They're pretty dope.
Can't wait to see how everything continues on that side. Little soccer news: they had another scrimmage today. Lost 2-1. Another last 10-minute goal. So hopefully that doesn't roll over into the regular season this fall. Scoring game-winning goal. The other team scoring the game-winning goal in the last 10 minutes. But Coach Huff's still doing a great job with his with that. And then we
well, and I mean, spring games or fall games though, like what's
that's a different beast.
Right.
Yeah, what was your objective? Like, did you probably didn't play those last 10 minutes necessarily the same way you would have if the result mattered. Like you're trying to look at certain players in certain positions. You may be a little bit more bold with your strategy than you would in a meaningful game where you'd be more content to go to extra time and see what it looks like there. So yeah, I mean, never make too much of results in exhibition, any kind of exhibition, like because it's just not the same. People, whether you coach and play like it's a real game or not, it's not, and everybody knows it subconsciously, and that impacts the outcome. So don't sweat it. You worried about any spring training stats?
No,
I wouldn't be.
No, not at all. I mean, I'm encouraged by
except for whatever stats going on with Shohei Ohtani.
We can talk about that off the air. Oh my goodness. But no, I'm excited. We bid farewell to Jay on Friday. He
saw that.
He left Saturday morning, so
gonna miss him.
Really gonna miss him.
Yeah, man. Got to break it to my boy Sammy Dubs that he'll never get to coach the Twins again because he loved that. Are they twins or just sisters?
They're sisters. Kaya's a year old. 9 and 8.
Well, he got to coach them both, and he said they were dogs, so he'll be bummed to know that they're out of the mix.
Yeah, Jay wouldn't let him play with the girls, man. He said they're playing with the boys. Let's go. And they were.
Well, they played basketball with the girls back in the day, at least. That's when Sammy Dubs coached them up.
Oh, I was thinking Tormenta was soccer.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure they're absolute animals out there.
Yeah. I mean, they lived on campus, so they were always out there playing around, and they got coaching from Primo and coaching from Flo and all that kind of stuff. So it was great, and we're gonna miss the Harris clan down here in the Loco, but he's gonna do good things over at Barry. Thankfully, he's not in the Peach Belt, so we don't have to see him too often.
Stay down there in the sunshine. We'll see you at regionals.
That's right. So, but another full week. looking forward to golf this weekend or tomorrow and Tuesday. Hopefully, if you guys have some time, come out there and catch some golf, man. A big field there for the guys, even bigger one for the girls. And then track and field up at the Gamecock Invitational next weekend. So
look at this weather forecast. Pretty good for you out on the golf course. Tomorrow we've got a high of 66 and should be mostly cloudy. And then on Tuesday it's going to be cloudy, but it looks like the rain's going to hold off. High of 76 for you, Brackin, with winds from the east-southeast at 10 to 15. So a little breezy out there at Old Field. Should keep the sand gnats off of you and be a lovely day for golf.
I'm going to be parking over there at number 12 at the par. It's a par 4. It's a par 4.
It's a par 4, but you can drive the green.
But you can drive the green. Noticed it from the girls. Man,
it's even more fun with the guys because all the guys do it. Like it's just it's an automatic. They just drive it and it's just chaos. Like you get a good bounce or it rolls up through the bunker. You might end up with a makeable eagle putt. You get a bad bounce or it embeds in the side of the hill. Oh boy, could be rough.
But that little turn right there,
the ultimate risk reward.
Yeah,
I told you that back nine's about like it's a really, really underrated golf course, I think, for tournament play, especially because the back nine has a ton of risk reward. And to me, that's what makes tournament play really interesting is when you have risk reward, you have the opportunity for people to make up ground by gambling. And so then it kind of makes the leaders rethink a little bit like, can I really play conservative? Because if they get hot, there's a lot of opportunities to catch up out here. And so it's a fun competition golf course, especially the back nine. And it's one of the most beautiful places on the planet. I mean, just spectacularly beautiful.
That green on 11. Oh, right there.
I told you.
Yeah.
11 and 12 are I mean, second to none. There aren't many better back-to-back holes.
Yeah, I walked down 10 and I didn't walk all the way down 11, but then that was when I met up with the guys during the women's tournament and they took me over to the green on 12 and then
13's kind of cool too. Yeah, because par 3, small green, water on the left. Like it's that's a
big oak tree. Too. That's the logo.
And then I actually like the 2 really long holes that go down and back. They're just long, wide open holes. Yeah, they're long, wide open holes, but 14, they're both birdie opportunities. I like the whole back nine. 16, 17 are a little. Well, actually, no, 16's good. That's the part 3 over water. That's a beautiful hole. 17's kind of meh. The 18's really good. So
18's the par 5.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's gettable par 5 too. Like you got a shot to maybe make it if you need to. And that also makes for a compelling finishing hole because you got a chance for like a 3 or 4 shot swing potentially on the last hole. That's fun.
Yeah.
Multiply that by 4 in a team event and no lead is safe. So it's cool.
Well, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing my old buddy Rich from Cumberland. He's been there for many years, so it's going to look forward to seeing him. And then I'm really looking forward to seeing the guys. Ellis Bright, I haven't got to see him or Nikolai play a lot of holes. We haven't had any home events.
Interview Ellis, and he's delightful.
Oh, he's one of my favorite people right now. He's so much fun. Yeah. He comes into the office. Hello, Brackin. Hello.
Hello.
That's my take on a British accent, but no, he's great. Nikolai's great. Every student athlete we've got are so much fun to be around.
They're amazing.
That golf team, men and women, are really fun because it's like just the United Nations. It's really cool, or at least the European Union.
Yeah, Nikolai over there, and then Amar.
Very similar to the soccer team. Women's soccer also a lot of international European players.
Yeah. Got some Norwegians over there. I know lost Mari. Now we're down to like 3, I think, 3 or 4. Jenny, Tina,
Norwegian Wood,
Sene. So yeah, we've got a few. Eva, who's going to transfer out as a graduate student. She's from Iceland. So yeah, a lot of internationals, and we're really looking to see. And I got a couple more coming for golf. A couple from the below the equator. A couple of South American, Argentina girls.
Corey told me that recently, that he was adding a new continent. You know, we had a little South American pipeline going for a little bit back in the early days of women's golf. Had Adriana Saavedra, who I want to say was from maybe Bolivia or Argentina, one or the other. Somebody else too. There were a couple, and Sophie Henke was from Germany. But yeah, there's always been a pretty good international presence on the golf rosters. I actually had an article in Local Life recently on USCB's behalf on that subject, and how, like, especially in golf, like it's the path. It's you know, I talked to Ellis about it, and Ellis was like, "Oh yeah, since I got serious about golf, the dream was to go play college in the States, because it's like the ultimate training ground." I mean, you're playing against, you know, future PGA Tour players week in and week out on like PGA Tour caliber golf courses, and like if you want to try to play this game for a living, there's no better way to do it.
It's
and
right in your
college,
backyard.
You said it's way better competition and way better golf courses than what they would face, you know, like even playing professionally in Europe. So it's the dream for those guys and girls. Plus, you get an education out of it.
Yeah, it's so much.
Yeah. Win-win.
They just have a good time. And I mean, if you get to play Old Field every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, they were kind of talking to me about, like, yeah, it kind of feels like we're in a movie sometimes. Like, you know, like we came over to the States, like we were living this dream of like living in this different culture where like people talk funny, and we come to this like idyllic place every day where the fox squirrels like run around, you know, like it's like I seriously feel like this is not real life, or like I'm living in a reality show or something, because they're like, you know, we see American culture through like television and media and stuff, and then like now we're living it, you know, like it's really cool. So it was cool to get their perspective on that, and how like we lose sight sometimes of just the fact that they're like 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, you know, that are coming over from another continent and have never seen this place except through their television. And now here they are like living it. And, you know, I mean, it says a lot about them that they're able to kind of take all that in stride and keep everything balanced and be able to excel in the classroom and on the golf course. And I mean, the GPAs for both those teams are absurdly high.
One A, 1B. They interchange who's number one and number two in the entire department. The men's actually finished off their time in the NAIA with an academic national championship.
National champs, baby!
Wow. So, and that's a testament to Corey. You know, he picks the right people, and his staff with Sam. So he and Sam do a terrific job.
I will say golf has to be one of the easiest sports to recruit, because I mean, you can either shoot the numbers or you can't, and they're almost all class individuals. You know, you don't run across a whole lot of golfers that are like goofing around or not, you know, not focused. Like you can't be good at it unless you've got your priorities pretty straight, and it instills certain, I mean, it rewards certain behaviors that, you know, lend themselves to just having upstanding individuals for the most part. You know, it takes all kinds. I can think of a couple in USCB history that might not fit the
only professional that I think of right now is John Daly.
Oh, John Daly, yeah. Well, I mean, like I could say some names from USCB history that would probably make a couple of people cringe, but you know, we won't go there.
You're probably talking about a couple of Corey's teammates too.
Probably. Corey could attest that there are a couple that would not fall into the category of, you know, top flight individuals, but it happens like that.
But another great show, fellas. Thank you guys for joining us for this
no problem.
later hour. It's already 10:30, so go knock out some stories. Watch
That's
a little
why I'm
more.
so tired. It's way later than we usually do this.
Yeah.
Well, let's not have to play any more game. Play at 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock double header on Sunday. Those are
the way it worked out.
I mean, you do what you do. It's the life you choose, baby.
Early morning for us there, going out to Old Field and then turning right around and heading over to baseball. So
yeah, busy day.
Busy day for the next 3 days, guys. So I'm sure we'll all be in touch. But all right, guys. Well, thank you guys for watching the Sand Shark Rewind. For Justin, Jarrett, Wes Kerr, I'm Brackin Lambert. Keep those fins up, guys. See you next week.